Introducing Next Gen 15, the new home of school rugby.
Well, where does this come from?
Covering everything the school game has to offer in both the north and southern hemispheres.
Oh, that's a great tackle! It's not good enough! 1-2, skip a few and we'll the wheels.
Highlighting tomorrow's stars, Next Gen 15 will be bringing you live games and a regular update of all the news and in-depth views on the global game.
What's a kick?
Where did he come from and how did that happen?
All your school rugby, all in one place. This is Next Gen 15.
Welcome to Northampton School for Boys for our very first Friday Night Lights of the season. It's Northampton School for Boys up against Ipswich School, and an impeccably observed minute silence there in memory of the Queen to open up proceedings. I'm Angus Savage for Next Gen 15. Alongside me is Young Rugby's Will Roberts. How are you doing, Will?
Very excited. It is the first time we'll be able to see both these teams on the Next Gen stage so far this season, so be really intrigued to see how both teams line up.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. First Friday Night Lights, of course, very exciting. Just a couple of minutes here while the boys are just going through another bit of a warm-up after the rather chilly start here and standing around for the minute. But you've got some thoughts on these teams for us, haven't you?
Well, let's have a look at the home side to begin with. There they are. Will Nichols is utilised at fullback. His namesake, Will Cotterill, therefore is given the 12 shirt, a tidy player. You can expect a fair few carries from him. It's Brennan and Henry at half-back, the latter partnering Ipswich's 10 this evening for Northampton a fortnight ago. The pack is a strong one in pretty much every sense of the word. Sonny Tongoia at 3, his father, ironically nicknamed Tiny, was a legend up the road at Franklin's Gardens. His son already making a name of his own, however, with out in today. Ollie Holiday will captain a side at 8. The Ipswich team, well, it's a late change. Zach Matthews steps in for Dave Owusu in an otherwise steady back line. Saints regular Simpson captains the side as well. Nisbet, Hadaway, Lamprell and Mile look dangerous also in the front row.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing these boys getting underway. It looks like we're just moments away from kick-off. The referee's just gone for a little bit of a wander at the moment. Quite sure what's going on there. I saw him going through an extensive warm-up, so I know that he's ready and raring to go.
He is certainly ready. Well, it will be NSB to kick off. Will Nichols, ball in hand, vice-captaining the team today. It will be Ipswich in the yellow, NSB in the navy and red. A brisk Northamptonian evening. Perfect, pristine conditions to play some rugby union. Getting underway, Nichols holds himself well. Ball heads high into the sky. Ipswich, their first job will be to get this exit correct. Excellent work on the floor from NSB, praised already. Big shots coming in there. Sonny Tongoia holding up the ball, he's stripped it.
One red offside, ball down, please. Thank you.
Coming back for the penalty there, but already we can see the strength and power that potentially Sonny Tongoia may possess, Angus.
Yeah, massively so, and actually he almost needs to calm those boys around him down. He's actually doing a lot of that hard work himself, but twice Northampton have been offside, so they need to just be a bit careful, a bit over-enthusiastic early on in this game.
It's tidy work from Williams to keep the ball in field, offloading it to Nichols, and there's Henry. Big shots coming in there. Lucas Nisbet Hadaway making himself accustomed to Northamptonian players. Ball on the tip, Brennan pulling the strings. Henry to his outside half, behind smoke and screen. That's Everett who takes it in now. Northampton caught behind the gain line. Good defence initially from Ipswich. That yellow wall holding strong. They get the penalty as well. Just how ferocious was that from Ipswich?
Absolutely fantastic from Ipswich. Dogged and physical in defence, and then the big turnover coming up from Mark van der Veen, getting himself over the ball. Absolutely brilliant work from Ipswich.
Fine in, fellas, please.
We see a
Use the
replay
22 as your
here.
line.
Huge
22
collision
is your
there
line.
from the hooker, and then van der Veen just getting over the ball like a good open side,
22
earning the penalty. And he looks like he's going to be a player to keep an eye on for the rest of this match.
Well, it's his first start for Ipswich. The Dutchman came off the bench in their 69-0 win against Uppingham at the weekend.
We don't want to talk about that. That's my old school. We don't want to talk about it.
Still, though, showed the dominance that this Ipswich side may be able to possess, and they're going to try and use it now as they make their first entrance into the Northampton 22. There he is, Van der Veen. Drop the ball, though.
Obstruction, fellas, 7.
Going back to that Ipswich result over
Walk away,
Uppingham,
fellas,
though.
please. Obstruction, 7.
I jest, of course, about talking about it, but there were such high expectations of Ipswich this year after a really strong year. Last year they've been putting some big work into their rugby, bringing in Jacob Ford to head things up and stuff. But there is a bit of pressure in that opening game to sort of justify the hype, and they more than did that. 69 points to 0, absolutely extraordinary. This will be a sterner test as we're seeing in the opening exchanges, but
this is yours.
Really intrigued to see how these guys go on.
Yeah, as we
Just
mentioned, Northampton School for Boys will certainly not roll over. They lost to Denston only by 1 point. Obviously, another very physical side within the school's calendar, and beat Moulton College not so long ago. Their start to the season's been impressive. Ball smuggled away by Ipswich, but not under.
Knock on.
To some immense pressure from NSB.
Knock on advantage.
Knock on advantage.
Knock on first.
Means that it will be Northampton ball off this scrum.
Scrum in 5, fellas.
Set piece, do you think, will be a real springboard for both these sides this afternoon?
I'm smiling away to myself because I cannot wait to see Tonga have a bit of a scrummage here.
Yeah. Nice and square.
Let's see what the big man can do.
Him up against Lucas Nisbet-Hadaway, who's the one of the starting loose heads for the Northampton Saints team.
I just all I can think of is Mujati and Tongaweer with that amazing Saints scrum, 10 years ago now.
Set!
Maybe able to see shades of that in schoolboy colours now. Ipswich, though, holding firm. Henry picks the ball out. Good work and break from Everett. Still on his feet. Took a lot to get him down. Nichols deputises at 10, releases the ball out wide.
Language, Timothy.
Hands potentially a little cold.
It is a bit brisk, isn't it? I'm not used to this.
Not sure these players are either. It's been obviously a sunny sort of time so far throughout this season. Friday Night Lights bringing with them some harsh breeze, which just makes those fingertips a little less sensitive. Means that the ball doesn't stick as well.
Watch on.
Good steal in the line out from NSB.
Well done, 3, thank you. Knock
Quick
on.
work, the pass as Tongaweer was far from kind.
There are a series of
bobbling around like a
the first
pinball.
one back here was by red. Second there was by gold. Come back here for the
Chaos there for 20 seconds or so. Ball flying everywhere, bodies everywhere alongside.
Our ball, let's go.
I mean, he's big, Sonny Tongaweer, but he's
on both puttings.
So you may be able to excuse the ball heading towards his toes a bit more, but that's not the ideal pass that we'd have wanted from his scrum half to try and get a bit of front foot ball for his team.
Now you really want Tongaweer coming onto that at full pace, don't you, and creating carnage in the defence and something to play off.
We're not going in. Don't lean on. Yeah, your feet were too far back. Stay strong.
this scrum will almost be a match in itself throughout this evening.
Patience, yeah, patience.
A battle of the heavyweights.
That last one from Ipswich was really strong
Crouch.
as well. Did really well to get a bit of a nudge on.
Bind.
But it's their ball this time.
Set.
Holdcroft the feed. Free kick given.
Can't put it in with one hand.
Misdemeanor
Can't
from
put it in with one hand.
Holdcroft.
Free kick.
Referee coming out with a diamond from the rule book.
I tell you what, there's not a lot of people that are going to know that law, are they? Tried to put the ball in with one hand.
Big cheer as Sonny Tonguia gives a big get off the bus, and oh well, that's replied by Mark van der Veen.
Leave him.
Hits going in left, right and centre. We told you this would be a physical game. How can the likes of Luca Williams get himself involved? The blindside winger does well to make amends and step back inside to give Northampton continued ball. More big hits coming in. This time it's from Ryan Bourne, who batters Northampton back into their own half. Sonny Tonguia may have a word or two about that, and he gets them back in it.
1 and 3 offside.
Offside advantage.
Still penalty advantage, 9.
NSB have a free roll of the dice. One-up runners met by 2 Ipswich players. How will this work out? Strong work again from Cottrell. Nichols calling for it. Steps and tries to avert himself away from the big Dutchman van der Veen. There's his numbersake Hansen wearing 7 for NSB this evening. Good phase play and patience from NSB, despite having the advantage.
You were crawling, but we're playing the advantage.
Didn't do anything about it.
1 and 3 offside.
Well, I tell you what, we come back for a Northampton School for boys penalty, but that entire passage of play, everything about that was just telling me how good this Ipswich back row is.
They're both here.
Physical dominance from van der Veen and from Bourne.
That one is for them.
Absolutely impeccable technique as well to go alongside the physicality.
Textbook stuff from the Ipswich back row. Oh, Nichols, that's not as textbook, but it's still going to work.
The unorthodox always catches people by surprise.
Here we go, gentlemen.
Zach Matthews is potentially slightly caught.
Look at this from van der Veen.
If we're going to sack, get the timing right.
Bourne then after. I mean, the technique is just impeccable though. You know, that is not even close to being a high shot or anything. That's around the waist, but just phenomenal physicality and power. Shades
of Courtney Laws, who of course spent his school years here at NSB. Can they replicate similar forward dominance off the maul? It's rumbling forward, heading towards Ipswich Station.
There's the ball, there's the
Ball's presented, Henry thought about using his back, instead decided to continue going up Route 1.
Back feet, advantage.
There's Tonguia, twisting, turning.
No, he's short, he's short.
Short, says the referee.
Behind the line, fellas, behind the line.
NSB will have to have another crack at it. Down the blind side, Henry looks. Quick ball, spin, turn, score. Excellent work, Elliot Swift. Breaks the deadlock. NSB inside 10 minutes get themselves on the score sheet, and well, all coming off the back of that excellent maul set up by the home side.
Absolutely, a brilliant maul from NSB, and then the patience to keep plugging away at the line. Understand that if they had to drop a little short just to make sure they didn't get held up, they could do that. Showed the patience, worked their way through the phases, and then the finish in the corner, absolutely lovely stuff. Through the hands, look at that, the little spin through the tackle. Perfect.
An excellent score. Elliot Swift. And now can Will Nichols add those extras?
NSB are going to be so happy with that. You know, they've done so well in this opening 10 minutes or so. In essence, just to stop Ipswich from having any kind of possession. It's been a real defensive effort from Ipswich. They've not got control of the ball at all. And NSB reaping the rewards.
It's a good strike from Nichols, but it's just wide. So the score will remain just 5. There is Swift in that funky headgear. Can't miss him.
Okay, time your own goals.
Back underway, Ipswich send it up into the sky. It's
Play
not
on.
collected by NSB and means
No,
that
didn't
it's
lose it, still had
Cottrell
control.
who's on the back foot.
Taken in.
NSB
Take
still
it in,
have
hold
it.
in front.
Nichols decides to
Okay,
clear
you're
with
on
a
now.
lovely tight spiral which could confuse people. Flung out to Hollis. Now here's Simpson, the skipper.
Tackle.
One of the star men in this Ipswich lineup. Regularly
Advantage.
fronting
Offside
up
one.
for Northampton Saints.
Penalty advantage, offside one, Red.
Hollis, they've got the advantage. How can they use it? Ball misses almost everyone, but picked up well.
Advantage over,
Now they
play
go
on.
down the open side. Good hands back in field. That's Billy Reid. NSB
Carried over, touchdown.
having to track back, and well, it's going to be an Ipswich scrum on the 5.
That is just glorious rugby from Ipswich. Starts with
Watch
that
off.
powerful physicality from the forwards in the midfield. Then they spin the ball wide. They've got back row hanging out there alongside the wingers in the back 3. And they're just one pass away, aren't they? But not a bad outcome, a scrum 5. And I'd suggest if they can run anything like that kind of a pattern again, they could well be getting themselves across the whitewash.
Oh, drinks break. We've got a injured Ipswich player.
Okay. This early in the game? Seriously?
Good chat from the ref there. I've already heard him telling Timothy to watch his language as well.
He needs to watch himself.
He's a character, this ref. I'll tell you what, great facilities here at Northampton School for Boys. We were chatting about it earlier, absolutely glorious.
Okay, water off, gentlemen,
Good
please.
to see a lovely turnout as well for a Friday night.
Scrum 5, goal ball.
The far side of this pitch, stacked with young, keen, avid
Watch
rugby
on.
watchers, as well as
Carried
the
over,
old
touchdown. Scrum 5,
mum
goal
and
ball,
dad
gentlemen.
and
Mark's here.
everyone else. I think even a few dogs. You see, I can get that phrase in.
Try not
I got
to
a message on
lean
Instagram this week for talking about dogs too much in Sunday's broadcast.
Oh, we'll keep dog talk to a minimum then, Angus, to
Crouch.
save your DMs from getting cramped up.
I was
Five,
just admiring a nice spaniel. I don't know what's wrong with it.
set.
Ipswich scrum. Can they use this as a platform to get something out of it? Good step and go from Saddleton.
Tackle, release 7. Thank you.
A few blades of grass away from the try line now. As Bourne.
Yeah, you're out. You're out. Well done. Thank you very much.
Van der Veen. So close now,
No
Ipswich.
lift.
Across the face to Mile. Still
Short,
driving.
short.
Is he there?
No, he was short. That was a second move.
Question asked and
Called a
answered
short
by the ref
second
there.
move.
Exactly, decisive work, and well, Ipswich get out of jail. Strong defensive effort to make sure
Second
that
move.
the away side can't get anything out of that. Can they keep this ball in field? Excellent work to make sure that it does.
He was outside, crossed the plane, landed out. That's out.
Referee
Yeah, change
decides
position.
otherwise.
It's
That's
actually-
fine,
That's decent application of the law, that from the ref. I'm impressed. Doesn't negate the skills though from Hollis, the fly half, to make the attempt to keep that in field.
Let's go, Reds, please.
Always a bit gutted that they slightly amended that law.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to see the acrobatics on show.
Well, exactly. Isn't that what we're all after? A slightly more skillful game. Mind you, Eddie Jones doesn't think there is any skill at this level, I suppose.
Advantage, early jump.
True, Henry. That pass not too accurate, but well, nor is that
Oh,
one.
it's a knock on, no advantage, early jump.
Comedy of errors from NSB. But they had the free kick advantage.
Early jump on the halfway line for me, please. Thank you.
Referee's doing well to show
Early
his depth of this RFU rulebook. He's coming out with all the pearlers at the moment.
Yes, free kick.
Free kick there. Have a guess who this is going to. Tonga Weir, that heading him probably a bit too high.
Tackle.
Means that he can muster over
Well done,
those
gentlemen,
extra
thank you.
2 or 3
Okay, hold in
metres.
front, fellas. Okay, you're all
Brennan.
on now, Red.
thumps one into the air, trying to test Billy Reid, who does ever so well, but the tackle is a hefty one in reply. Powerful running again from the Ipswich faithful. Penalty though.
5 off his feet.
The try scorer, Elliot Swift, over it like a clamp.
Number 5 off his feet. Red's trying to contest.
Excellent work from NSB, and well, I'm assuming they're going to thump to the corner again.
This is the perfect start for NSB. Early try, survived a little threat on their own line, and they're just, you can sense the momentum that they're feeling.
Exactly that, and they're going to get this line out just outside the
Just be aware of
22.
what's going on, gentlemen, yeah?
The set piece has been tried and tested already in the first 15 minutes. We've probably had, well, as many line-outs as we have had minutes. There's been lots of set piece action for teams to try and sell alight this game.
Yeah, it's open at 9, that's fine.
Where's this going? In the middle it goes, and
Back you go.
NSB stick it up their jumper.
More
Penalty.
over, 6 and 5.
Moore wasn't over, therefore the cavalry arrived a little bit too
6 and 5, don't care. 6
early
and 5
than
come up, hand wasn't down.
the referee really would have wanted.
Fair play again to the ref, who was being clear about the fact that the ball was not moving yet.
I did say it in
Hollis
the chat as well, gentlemen.
thumps it away.
I did say it in the chat, make sure the hand comes down.
As I mentioned, obviously these two teams know each other inside out. Seb Henry, who's wearing 9, you've got it there in your picture for NSB. He played 9 for Northampton to Rory Hollis's 10, who's at fly half for Ipswich today. So that does just show these two teams will know each other very well on and off the field, know their little idiosyncrasies to make this game even tighter than it already would have been. Brennan, now he can utilise his back line, try and get something going, or it's a
Tackle was fine.
hefty shot, legal as well.
Tackle was fine. Hold in front.
Now Nichols decides that he can get rid. Kicks to his fellow 15 Reid, who tries to have a go at it. Ball comes spewing out. Here's Simpson. Steps, goes, uses Hollis. Ball flung out wide, and the gas is turned on. Lamprell. Ball popped up well to Matthews. Churning through. This is effective work from Ipswich, who have made a lot of meters very quickly. Ball flung out to no one in particular. Van der Veen had to try and pick up the pieces. Penalty NSB. And once again, Ipswich knocking at that door. NSB saying, well, no, thank you.
Yeah, NSB coming up with the answers in defence when it counts, aren't they? Looked like a really exciting passage of play from Ipswich. But NSB, more than a match for it.
Yeah, that waylaid ball catching Ryan Bourne in all sorts of bother.
Got to tell you that I'm really impressed by the zip on Hollis's passing. I think I'd like to see the ball getting through his hands a little more often, actually, because there's just such pace on his pass as he brings other people into the game that I think that's where the threat may come in terms of breaching the NSB defence.
Not the biggest, not the strongest, but Rory Hollis's skill set is almost unmatched in these parts. Stray boot has entered the field. We'll find out whose that is very soon. Ipswich, though, have managed to nick the ball off NSB. Van der Veen heading for soft shoulders.
Advantage over for the knock-on at the line.
There's Hollis. Oh, this time the ball's been nicked, and we're away to the races. Aldridge tries to go for the boot, knowing that he had Ipswich players breathing down his neck. Rory Hollis now trying to make up for his intercept. Nichols, is the 50-22 on?
50-22 is on.
It is, but the ball not bouncing as kindly as the lights. Simpson gets his dustpan and brush out, tries to sweep things up, and Harry Simpson breaking tackles effectively.
Ball is out.
Holdcroft using Hadaway.
No, don't go to the side.
Hollis again, out the back. There's Reed. Find Bolton.
Last forward.
Ball's been knocked on. What a passage of play that was, it really. This game seems to be coming alive, coming to life every so often, and it just stops the spark, doesn't it?
Yeah, you want either one of these sides, just as they grab a hold of it at some point, to just complete one of these chances. The intercept here arriving at the most inopportune moment, given what I'd just been saying about Hollis's passing, but the intercept, you think he's away, but look at the cover there. The pace on the cover from Holdcroft. Absolutely brilliant to then tidy it up back there. And
that kick opportunity, well, it's made to look easy by Test internationals, the likes of Lewis Rees-Zammit. We've seen him pull off a fair few of those, but as demonstrated there by Aldridge, it is a fairly difficult task to put in a deft chip at full pace.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world, is it? You're absolutely flying at full pace. You've got a man breathing down your neck. You've got another one hanging onto your shirt, and you're trying to ignore all of that and pull off a delicate piece of skill. Ipswich very close. That's twice they've had a bit of space down that left-hand side and just slightly overplayed their hand when it counts. They've just gone for one pass too many. A little bit of composure when they get that line break on the outside, and I think they're going to find that they may get some joy, because if they can build through the phases, they've got a huge amount of power up front, which will suck in defenders. Just got to be a touch more patient.
It's in the red half. There.
Seb Henry just liaising with Ollie Brennan on
in your half.
Which trick they will pull out of their hat for now. Be nice to see some back three players in a bit more space, not that opportunistic effort that we obviously just saw from Joel Aldridge, but a little bit of set piece and structure to try and unlock this Ipswich back line. See what Brennan and friends can come up with here.
Advantage.
They've got the advantage. What can they do? Out the back they go. Nichols goes for the chip. Well, it's going to go out on the full, not his finest effort, but it doesn't matter. Lucas Nisbet had away with an infringement at scrum time.
Just a little bit stop-start.
Knee down.
Not quite the flow we need yet.
Yeah, just not enough pace. That's great.
I'm really enjoying the banking that all the fans are on. Brilliant. It's like a sort of mini stadium effect.
Levels upon levels means that everyone gets a clear view of, well, their home side on top at the moment. Probably not something we would have initially expected on paper, but NSB have held their own in the first quarter of this game, and are certainly reaping the rewards at the moment. They option now. Oscar Leal and Matt Moran lined up in the midfield. You expect they might be used. No, it goes out the back, and Nichols is there again, and that was Everett. Henry waits, invites his skipper Holiday onto the ball.
Came out the side, play on.
The way they go. Ipswich have nicked it back, and there's Mile, the hooker. NSB penalty again. Ipswich's ill discipline costing them dearly.
Pointing towards the posts. If they've got the range, I would say collect the points if they can, and that's what they're going to do.
The tee's been called. Will Nicol backs himself.
I was going to say he's got the wind behind him, but I'm looking at a flag in front of me and it's swapping around every 2 or 3 seconds.
Mother Nature, I'd assume, is playing some fairly cruel tricks at the moment, and Will Nichols is going to have to hope that he's got her on his side, at least momentarily. Around about 40 metres out, pretty much in front of the posts. Can he keep it low and try and Drive it over, it's a lovely strike. It's good as well. The lead is extended to 8 points out of a converted try for Ipswich. So good work from Nichols, who's had a fine kicking display so far this evening.
Yeah, it's a great strike that from Nichols, and important for NSB to just keep adding to this score, make it harder and harder for Ipswich to chip away.
No blocking, fellas.
Good restart from Hollis.
God, it's that man in the air.
Up into the air, it's another advantage.
Hold on me. Good.
Nichols
Hold in front, gentlemen.
again
Hold in
uses
front.
that spiral
Okay,
kick.
take off.
This time it lands straight in the hands of Zach Matthews, who sets away now, bumping off players.
Wasn't held.
Absolute bundle of physicality there.
Tackle 4.
There's Burke.
Advantage. Not quick enough.
NSB not rolling away. Referee getting impatient. Hollis tries to fire it across the face of his attack, but it bumps off the shoulder of Mile in the process, so Ipswich now will get the
Not
penalty.
quick enough, number 4.
Wonder what they'll do with this.
I think I've seen them pointing towards the corner. Yeah, it looks that way.
Hollis wasting no time. He heads towards it.
Well, they obviously back their set piece. I mean, that's a gimme 3 points, I would have said. But obviously backing themselves to get that big pack across the line with them all.
That momentum shift as well, which I'm sure they'll be looking for. The mental toll that conceding a try after working so hard in previous phases to keep Ipswich out. NSB will want to make sure that they keep it that way. This, for all intents and purposes, going to the front. It does, and well, wasn't handled. Good work later on by Bobby Eaton Collins in that bright blue scrum cap, but his knock-on initially meant that NSB will have the put-in from this scrum. Chance wasted for Ipswich.
Yeah, the big gamble on going to the corner not quite paying off. Just scrappy ball at the line out, and Tonga tidies up. Key for them now is just to try and pin NSB down in this half, make it a difficult angle for the kick to clear, force them to have to work really hard to get out from their own 22, their own sort of 30 metres or so.
Good shove. Holiday sets off Cottrell.
No lift.
Nichols comes out from the shadows to put himself in a position to try and clear the ball.
Okay, it's gone.
Well, pretty stiff clearances, but it's done the job.
That's the job there for Ipswich. That's what we're saying. Keep it, 30 odd metres. Give yourselves a bit of a platform to be able to work your way back towards the try line.
Still with 5?
At some point,
Gaps are good,
they
gentlemen.
can just string a little bit of possession together, a few phases.
One job.
Might just find out what this lot have got.
Not straight.
Again,
Ollie, what you want?
the line out falters for Ipswich.
Scrum called.
Bit cool that, going for the scrum.
By him.
My rather old school rugby brain would say get the ball down the far end. Sure, the other team are going to have the throw into the line out, but it's going to be well away from your half of the field.
Core strength, fellas. Core strength.
NSB potentially backing their attacking utility to be able to get themselves out of this situation.
Big time. I mean, I'm looking out the right-hand side here. The depth on the attack already is excellent, and the positional setup suggests that they're hoping to get this one through the hands with a bit of trickery and either create an angle for a kick, sweeping out towards that right-hand side from someone with a bit of depth on the play, or to actually get around the outside of the defence if the shape emerges that way.
8's on. Set! Excellent. And it's stable. Good, let's go.
Henry feeds. Ipswich win the scrum penalty. And well, the away team are almost celebrating it
Legs went.
as a 5-pointer.
big play that, and you see the celebration from the boys. They're geeing each other up. They know they needed a little momentum shift, and that could be it right there.
Mile tips it on to Hadaway, who's sent on a little journey.
Yeah, fine. Fine, he lost it.
Hollis out the back.
Not held.
Good step from Saddleton,
Let him go, let him go. And
making
forward,
shadows
well
of
done, thank
NSB
you.
defenders. Hollis fires it across again. There's that crisp pass that we were talking about. Lamprell this time. Hollis wasting no time. Good tackle to deny Ipswich the opportunity to score in that corner. They're going to have to go the other way if they want to try and find a way to the whitewash. There's Dmitriev. Mile been in that sort of position about 10 minutes ago. Same result, nowhere near. Maul was called, so NSB will get the feed from the scrum.
Oh, that's really, really unlucky for Ipswich. Such big momentum off that penalty at the scrum time. You can almost see the belief starting to course through them, charging towards that try line, but NSB earning the Maul call. It was a quick one, but fair play to Ruben Hansen, number 7 there, who managed to get underneath the ball, holding it up for just long enough for the referee to call Maul. 3 times now, is it, that NSB have managed to hold Ipswich out from their own, from underneath their own sticks.
Well, it's almost been the benefit of NSB. They've probably visited Ipswich's 22 once and got 5 points out of it, whereas, well, the other end, it's been all the game has pretty much been played in the red zone of NSB, who are yet to concede a point. So I think that shows that the narrative that is unfolding in front of us at the moment. Excellent defence and equally good and clinical attack from NSB initially.
Yeah, and the more times that NSB keep them out in those sort of situations, the more they'll just believe that they can keep doing that.
And equally, the more frustrated that Ipswich will get, and Rory Hollis may throw a few more intercept passes, and that's potentially how NSB can double down and try and get a few more points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, Ipswich just have to remain patient. They've got themselves field position a few times. Just got to stay patient and believe that at some point the defence will crack. Defences always eventually crack. You just have to keep believing it.
Henry feeds, the scrum uproots itself.
It's gone up under pressure, fellas. It's gone up under pressure. Everybody's driving, but it's gone up. It's going to reset.
Ipswich rallying their troops. They, as we mentioned, see this as a game within itself, and well, they won the last one. Can they win the next?
I'm absolutely loving Dmitriev in the second row. He's been carrying like a beast, but he is non-stop talk and energy. Absolute beating heart there in the middle of the pack.
Made his under-18s Northampton Saints debut off the bench against Leicester Tigers, their first game of this season a few weeks ago. Holiday bumping players off, doing ever so well to get NSB outside of their 22. Fairly isolated though, so
fair exchange.
How this
7
will
was
work.
unbound before the ball was out of the scrum.
They're going to have to come back here. I think it's another penalty. It is against Ipswich. It was number 7, Van der Veen, who was just a bit too eager to try and make a few shots and came out the scrum a little bit too early.
Well, that explains that then, because he was also ruthlessly effective at that breakdown to end the NSB attack. And I was about to say, how on earth did he manage to get there? That's incredible.
Well, legally.
We've found out how he got there. Although, in fairness to him, he had to get off the deck to get there.
Excellent work from Holiday, and the offload as well. Hansen on hand.
I think there's an opportunity to reset Messi at the back. We'll reset. Okay,
Battle of the back rows has just been an absolutely fascinating one so far. I think this is probably where the game will be won or lost, is in those loose forwards, and well, it's been ever so tight so far.
Yeah, been really impressed. The 2 number 7s particularly standing out for each side. I think that's gonna be fascinating as it emerges through the game, especially as as the boys get a bit more tired as the game goes on. Chilly evening. Those 2 sevens getting themselves in just a little bit more space to try and poach that ball. We could see the game breaking up a little bit.
Nichols decides against using the boot and instead tries to catch Ipswich napping. This is Cottrell, and Henry picks up the pieces. There's the try scorer, Swift. Offloads well to Hansen. Hansen still going. Shirtless, but carries through. Henry, Swift again. Fairly isolated. Needs his friends to bail him out. They do just that. Nichols decides enough is enough and heads to the boot. It's a good kick and lands in an awkward position for Hollis, who does ever so well to collect it under pressure. Strong carry there from Eaton Collins, and NSB get the penalty.
He was straight on the ball.
Got to go sticks again, surely. Keep that scoreboard ticking.
Called for it again. But the decision to kick from Nichols, it was an excellent upheaval into the sky and caused all sorts of issues for Ipswich in the end.
Well, it's a little bit of what we spoke about before, which is NSB are starting to just believe and back in their defence. They've got a great chance here of extending the lead out to 11 points, and all from just one visit to the 22. They're just backing themselves to be able to get a penalty when they're within kicking distance and to be able to survive things at the other end of the field.
Nichols, it's a sweet strike. It's a lovely kick from Will Nichols. Excellent work to switch NSB into double figures. We will have time for a restart, but that's pretty much all we'll have time for. Hollis will need to get this one on the money if he wants to see any more of this first half. I'm sure NSB will be more than happy to boot this into the sky and call it a day.
Carried in. Hold in front.
Oh no, we're still on. Nichols plays the Hollis. Hollis across the face. That pass, not ideal, and well, that almost sums up Ipswich's first half. A little inaccurate in places and just not on exact edges, and well, NSB have taken full advantage of that and lead with 11 points in their favour.
Yeah, it's going to be quite similar half-time team talks, I think, for both sides. Just a matter of patience. For NSB, it's just patience in defence, keep it up, keep believing that defence is going to pay dividends. And for Ipswich, it's exactly the same message: patience, be patient in attack, believe that chance will come. They've got the ability to create chances. They've at times managed to string together some really good stuff. Just that final pass or a really good bit of defensive pressure from NSB just stymieing the momentum at the crucial moment.
Well, here were the scores. The singular score, may I add. This is Henry who went fishing for it, and it was an excellent pass out from Matt Moran. The missed pass over to his hooker, Elliot Swift, who gracefully dotted down in the corner.
Well, I mean, not to go back to my favourite subject, but that's a second row throwing a blind miss pass inches from the try line. I believe that's what's known as skill. Eddie Jones should come down and have a look.
He can't see it. He's the RFU, I think, have their own issues at the moment. Anyway, we're focusing on the here and now, well, probably more importantly, the future. It's important to note just how many of these boys are already representing Premiership academies. Look down my list now and you can see sort of at least 6 or 7 in each squad have been consistently turning out for Northampton Saints. Both of these schools land roughly in that catchment area.
Yeah, very much so.
Certainly are seeing that the stars of tomorrow, and players that we're mentioning here, I'm sure we'll have the delight of mentioning a lot more throughout the season, because of course this is just the start of the season, very much in its infancy. We've got so many massive tournaments ahead of us throughout the school year. It's such an exciting time to be a school rugby fan.
Massively so, and a really exciting weekend in effect for an awful lot of schools. This is the opening weekend of the season because of course so many games were cancelled last week, and it's an absolutely bumper start for the season for us here. We've got live stream tonight here at Northampton School for Boys, and then tomorrow morning it's off to Reading Bluecoat for their game against Shiplake College, and then it's a quick hop from Reading over to Croydon to take on round 2 in the schools championship as Whitgift hosts Wellington College. Wellington College's schools championship debut. There's an absolutely bumper start to the season for us here at Next Gen 15, but for the lads out on the field as well, those ones as well who didn't get the chance to play last weekend, they will have been absolutely chomping at the bit all week to get out there on the field and finally have a go. These 2 sets of players lucky enough to actually play last weekend, but I know across the country, I'm sure you've had it as well, boys messaging, just absolutely relentless, can't wait to get out there.
Well, for a lot of teams as well, this may end up being a double game week with the EXIAC coming up for a lot of boarding schools. They're cramming games into Thursday as well, so after what was a fair drought of rugby union, we are now being doused with a lot of schoolboy rugby ahead of us at the moment.
Yeah, we certainly are, and of course Schools Cup starts next week. We've had the Vars this week. It's all go. It's like nothing happens for weeks and weeks and months, and then there's no slow burn. Once you start, it is absolutely flying.
Exactly that.
It's fine, we can all sleep in December.
Oh yeah, for a little bit, that is.
Yeah, we got what, like a week? It'll be fine.
Well, we've got another 35 minutes of action-packed schoolboy rugby ahead of us now. No point in getting too excited about the future. Rory Hollis and his men will be looking for answers. NSB at the moment have been the more dominant side. A few changes I think have been made, but definitely Ipswich, I can see a few less familiar names, and more importantly a few less familiar scrum caps on the field. It notifies me there may have been a few changes for them. NSB, I'm gonna look around. Yeah, I can see 1 or 2.
Well, NSB must have made at least one. One of their players was showing us what he had for lunch a few seconds ago, so I'd imagine he's gone for a little rest.
Shows the physicality of these schoolboy rugby games. It may still be age grade rugby, but it's far from it from a physical point of view. These boys do head into each other as 100 mile an hour. Oh, and already it's slipping through fingers. NSB. The knock on from Ipswich initially, so it will be NSB ball. A shaky start to the first half, a second half in fact.
Language.
Yeah, it was a little bit, not the start that Ipswich would have been hoping for there.
Almost a brand new front row for Ipswich.
Remember, Liz said long
they
bind,
brought
discipline,
on
square, steady,
Tom
please.
Dye and Rosario Lewis, wearing 16 and 17 respectively.
Set!
Both replacing Lucas Nisbet-Hadaway and Louis Mile.
Well, steady.
So we may get a slightly different picture at scrum time.
Down and steady. No
Yeah, changing the back row as well. Looks like Van der Veen's gone to number 8.
Down and steady. No reason for it not to come
Eaton
in.
Collins,
Yeah.
therefore, I think he's made way. Yeah, it's like that.
But it was a good set. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Decent amount of space to work with on the
Keep it
blind
up,
side
keep
here.
the elbow
They
up,
might
keep the
just
elbow
have a
up.
dabble.
Henry, ball comes out for Holiday.
You backed off, you backed off. Use it,
So
Knight.
Henry assessing his options.
And hold in front, Red.
Goes to the backfield. It's a tidy little kick that, and if it runs quite nicely, it could work out. Yes, it does.
That's a beautiful kick against the grain. So the space on the field wasn't covered because everyone's sweeping across to cover the space on the right-hand side, and he just goes the opposite direction and gets that skipping scudder of a bounce.
It's Tom Addison, who was mentioned to me by a fair few NSB faithful. He's certainly one to keep an eye out for, one for the future. He's already made a considerable impact on this game, giving Ipswich a tough position to try and get themselves out from.
When backwards came forward, that's offside.
Penalty,
When backwards came
because
forward,
it's
offside.
due to offside there.
Hold on, post.
Again, ill discipline from Ipswich.
Shot.
NSB going for the one-man lift at the front of the line out there. Schoolboy rugby has come on some over the years.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, who else but Sonny Tongaweer? I think he could do a one-finger lift, probably.
That explains that one.
Will Nichols has called for the tee once more. Been fairly busy with it during the first half. 2 penalties converted. This one, I'd like to say a little bit easier, but of course, as many goal kickers will tell you, no kick is easy.
Don't go and notice.
Yeah, the goal kickers say that.
Nichols, well, if you can get the ones that you've got previous, then this one should be all right.
Okay, that's a 22 dropout, please.
There we go. That's exactly what I expected to happen there. I'm sorry, Will. My apologies. Completely cursed.
You've absolutely stitched him up, I can't believe it.
Oh, well, you know, I tried to back myself by saying, oh, no kick is easy, and try and save his blushes. I guess you swooped in with the, oh no, this is easy, you could have taken one from there, and well, look at him, pressure's got to him, you must have us in his ear. Hollis gets us back underway. We'll pretend that didn't happen. Hansen, always looking for that offload, Ruben Hansen. That's effective utility to his game. Here's Sawano Tongaweer, who almost just strolls onto the ball. Nichols. Now there's a bit of space on the blind side. NSB approaching into the 22. First attacking platform they've had in quite a while. There's Marilay. Joined us off the bench wearing 16. Henry. There's Hansen. Through the middle.
Entry.
Penalty Ipswich, side entry at the ruck.
Loving the work of Hansen.
Tackle entry 16.
Absolutely everywhere at the moment. Great carry there towards the try line. Putting Ipswich under all sorts of pressure.
It's been a real rugged, open side. Everything you would have wanted out of a number 7. Hansen, look at this, just that opportunistic effort, trying to catch Ipswich off guard. He makes a few yards, and you can see there, he's just always looking for that little tip or pop off the ground to try and keep the ball alive. Been effective so far.
Tell you what as well, fair play to Lamprell for reacting and getting back there. Saved his team's blushes there.
Another short pause for another injury. I think it's cramp. Well, you can expect that start of the season. Weather changing as well. Muscles getting hot, then cold, and hot again very quickly. So cramp creeping in.
Don't worry, mate.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Watch it still on.
Sounds a bit daft to be stressing this one, but it is actually genuinely quite cold. I'll be praying for this sort of temperature in about 2 months' time.
Exactly. It's when our voices start to chatter slightly on our coverage in November for the time. It's almost like someone's put a vibrato effect on our microphones.
I reckon by the end of last season, people knew me more for a chattering voice than they did for the actual voice.
Harry, good to go?
Nichols. This time heads to the corner. Thinks better of trying to add 3 points.
Goals, 5 is your line. 5 is your line, fellas, yeah?
Try here makes life very, very difficult for
6 in,
Ipswich.
please, gentlemen.
Does indeed. Who just need that little spark to set them alight. They're still very much in this game. 11 points can be turned around very easily, especially by a side of the quality of Ipswich.
Step in, 16, step in, please.
Oh, hello. That one got a lower trajectory than
And that's a
would have
tackle
hoped.
release.
Bit scrappy, but NSB still got the ball. Strong yellow wall,
No hands,
holding
release.
firm. Jacob Ford not happy with the referee's decision there, shrugging his shoulders in the back of your picture. His side certainly under the cosh at the moment. Effective from Dryden there, carrying it up. Henry, Nichols, crossfield kick is called. Pinpoint accuracy, out wide, gonna finish on. Excellent score. Pretty sure it's Harrison Abraham, out wide, wearing 19. What a finish that was, Nichols on a sixpence. Excellent score for NSB.
Absolutely glorious, and that's 2 visits to the 22 and 2 tries for NSB, and as you say, absolutely on the money from Nichols. We've seen his kicking prowess throughout the game, and this time that kicking prowess brings with it a try. Glorious stuff. It was a good attempt to come and cover across from the Ipswich defence, but ultimately when you're racing that hard to try and get across, it's always very, very difficult to make the final shot. NSB getting across the line, and that is clinical play from the home side.
A word on Abraham and his ability to be able to finish that try off. He wasn't a walk-in, that's for sure.
No, well, exactly. As the defence is kind of scrambling across, he's aware of the fact that he's got the pace and momentum going in the right direction. If he just stays strong and direct, it's going to be really, really difficult for them to readjust their body angles to make a strong tackle. And what you see is they end up with that kind of scraggy arm tackle that when you're coming onto the ball with that kind of pace, or you're coming onto where they are with that sort of level of pace, they're not going to be able to do anything about it.
Well, the extras failed to be added by Nichols. It was obviously a tricky kick out wide, but there it is, just shrugging off the tackles with ease. Ipswich now very much on the back foot.
Still very much game on though. I feel like the difference between 16 and 18, it seems big.
Well, obviously 18 would require, you'd think, 3 tries, but 2 quick tries from Ipswich, and then, well, we've got a 2-point game on our hands. See what they can do with this broken field counter-attack. Ball not bouncing too kindly for Unsworth, number 9, but he races away, and there goes Billy Reid. He's cornered by navy and red shirts, but he's managed to make something of that. NSB, have they got the ball? Yes, they do. Excellent work from Oliver Scholar.
Ollie Scholar, that is absolutely brilliant. That is the loose head prop who's made all of that effort to get back there. He's sucking in the big ones now, no wonder. But a huge effort to get back there. And he has absolutely saved his side there. If Ipswich had been able to score pretty much in immediate response to the NSB try, that's a real swing in the state of this game. But Scholar stepping up in a massive way. Look at how hard he's working there. Cuts across now, helps complete the tackle, and is straight on the ball and has the strength to rip it clean free.
We've got Elliot Swift down at the moment, who's receiving a bit of attention I think it's potentially head
Harry?
related as well, so we've
Harry?
obviously got to take as many precautions as possible to make sure that he's
You're only gonna
okay.
need some time, keep warm. Ollie?
Means I think that coaches and players
Ollie?
can try and
Might be some time, keep warm.
debrief as much as possible.
Not a lot we can do to stay warm, but glorious play. I just want to go back to that work rate from Ollie Swift. Absolutely fantastic. Every inch the modern day prop. No longer getting to linger by the side of a ruck.
Say what that is almost the epitome of the evolution of a loose head prop. You look at Ellis Genge is probably the ideal candidate now for looking at the versatility that they'd have to get. He was obviously employed in the backfield by Eddie Jones at one point, off kick chases, things like that. So the idea of a prop is certainly shifting.
Yeah, big time. And you know, I really, for all my jesting about Eddie Jones, I really like that innovation of using Ellis Genge in the backfield. I've long been an advocate of play-to-player's skill base. Yeah, it's unusual and lots of people will probably not like it, but do you know what? Ellis Genge on the charge from deep, I don't want to tackle him.
Not at all. I think many people do. Good to see that Elliot Swift is now making his way to his feet. That's good news. I think he'll just be ushered off.
Thinking of loose head props as well, actually. On the Next Gen 15 podcast, I was having a chat with Dan Richards about the greatest schoolboy props. Well, greatest schoolboy front row of the last 10 years. We're picking a sort of team of the decade, and we were looking through the loose head props, and my goodness, the options are just incredible. We ended up settling on Benno Urbano.
Benno Urbano, yeah.
He was a freakish player when he was a school. I mean, he's a freakish player now, but he was a freakish player as a schoolboy.
My left field shout would have been Phil Brantingham.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time discussing Phil Brantingham.
Yeah.
Option on both sides, of course, as a schoolboy as well.
Yeah.
We ended up with Finn Baxter at tight head
Nice.
and Benno Urbano at loose head, and a nice seat for Phil Brantingham on the bench. And I'll give you one guess at who the hooker was.
It was about here.
My mind's gone blank.
Alfie Barbary.
Oh, Alfie
Who else?
Barbary, of course.
Yeah, you gotta try
See,
it.
assuming him as a back rower now, you sort of forget his hooker past. Sounds
Yeah,
a bit dodgy, that, doesn't it?
They will
Not in
step
that
in.
sense.
They will step in because I
Good.
put you where I want.
Options for him at hooker at 8, 6, 7,
Yeah.
12, 13,
Step in,
anywhere you
step
like,
in,
really.
Ten.
there, half.
You name it.
Thank you, that's fine there.
It's now Ollie Holiday who's been given throwing
Let's go,
duties.
please.
Skipper stepping up to the plate. He'll have a crack at it.
Don't step to your left. Let's keep it down the middle, please. Let's have it nice and equitable. Thank you.
Trying to be a little bit cheeky and gain an extra few yards and make sure the ball goes towards his team. That's going to work out for Holiday as well. And he breaks through, they go short.
Yes, it was out.
Obviously now NSB without a makeshift
Tackle
hooker.
was fine. Tackle was fine.
Henry. There's Hanson and Cotterill as well, and breaking the line goes Everett. Straight through into the 22 once more. Down the
Leave him,
blind
leave him,
side
leave
they
him,
go.
Leave
The
him,
latest
full
try
stop.
scorer, Abraham. Dryden. Quick ball. Nichols on the short
Move.
stab. Henry goes blind.
Tackle,
Cotterill with
release.
him. Henry ducking and diving, trying
And
to
that's a
choose the
tackle now,
best
5
option.
away.
It's to Nicol, who it's ever so close. Now here's Sonny Tongoia. Your voice has to raise a fair few decibels when you mention his name, the danger that he possesses. Henry, they're ever so close now. Offside was called, doesn't matter. NSB have got over the line. I think it's Will Cotterill. No. Number 20. We don't even have listed.
Oh, this is some demonstration by NSB, isn't it, of just powerful work, tight to the line, the patience again, much like the try in the first half. Happy to wait, happy to sit and go. And then happy to go absolutely crashing over the line. 21 points to nil, conversion to come. NSB have absolutely grabbed this game right from the off and have built a really good scoreline here. And it's difficult to see a way back for Ipswich, even at this early stage.
Anderson off the bar, the post in fact. Josh Tutts, there we go, that's a name. One I don't have down on my team sheet, but it's good that our little gremlins in the truck have found that somewhere.
It's a name and it's a haircut as well, my goodness.
Well, despite his Barnet, he's still managed to get himself on the score sheet. An all-important score, you'd imagine. 21-0 is 25 minutes to go. 20 minutes, in fact. My GCSE maths proving to be fairly there. Ipswich, they wasting no time, but oh, look at that. Just off colour.
This is what we spoke about heading into half-time, though, is you've got to stay patient. You know I've said that it looks a long way to come back despite what's on the clock, but you still have to play the game the right way. You've got to keep your patience up. You've got to keep believing that if you keep playing the way that you play, that the cracks in the defence will come. And they're just a little guilty there of kind of overplaying in an intricate space. Yeah, they've got a bit of a pattern that they normally try and work to, and they've got themselves in a situation there where no one was quite sure what their role was, hence the pass just ending up going to deck.
No, you can't. Your coach told me you can't, okay? So you have to drop a man from the team.
Right, so we've got front row issues. We've got no listed front rows.
He doesn't have a hooker. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
So they've got to drop a player. So NSB will have to go down to 14, and I think we're going to have uncontested scrums. This is a rule that caused a lot of issue in a fair few Premiership and Championship games recently, and well, is causing issue here as well.
I also think it's a law that categorically should not exist at schoolboy level. Absolutely, if you don't have any available front row, you should not be playing contested scrums. There's absolutely no debate about that, but at schoolboy level it is all about getting a game on, getting players to have fun, enjoy themselves, get to play the game, and forcing a side to drop a player because of an injury is just not right at all. It's not the referee's fault, he's just refereeing the laws as they stand, but to me it makes absolutely no sense to stop kids from being able to play rugby.
Okay, watch his back on. Okay, it is uncontested scrums. Whoever puts the ball in has to win the ball. However, we are still expected to bind as we would do normally.
That's the verdict from the referee. It will be uncontested scrums, so that element of the game has been taken from us.
Yep. Okay. 7 in the
And to be clear, the referee's absolutely spot on. There's not a qualified front row. Absolutely should not be a contested scrum. There is no dispute of that. The referee's just applying the laws absolutely correctly. And indeed he's applying them correctly in saying that they must now play with 14, but it's just not right at school level for that to be the law.
Henry brings on Cottrell. Goes back the other way, or looks to do it. Addison then goes boot to ball. Hollis was there and ready. Hollis stepping, checking. Releases the ball to Ryan Bourne. Hollis again, now out the back. Simpson cutting shapes. Good offload. Still going. Ipswich, this is a good attacking platform for them. The best they've definitely had in this second half. Simpson again, carving through. Simpson still going. Brought down well by Nichols. Step and turn as Ipswich creep ever so close to the whitewash now. Van der Veer. Hollis is calling for it. He gets it, tried to release the ball, but realised that it's best to keep it in hand. Already thrown an intercept pass. So far this game, won't want to throw another. There's Tom Dye, who's joined us off the bench, trying to make an impact with slightly fresher legs. Hollis, inside ball, that could work quite nicely for Shackleton. Still going, Ipswich. Advantage now as well, so
you tackle assist.
They can play anything they want now. Short, down the blind side, away they go. Joe Mallard, I think. A little bit of argy-bargy as well.
Penalty restart to you.
Restart with penalty NSB
Harry.
on the halfway line once the conversion's been taken. I think I've just heard the referee say. But Ipswich, that's a crucial score at a crucial time for them as well.
Because of the actions by your 18 after he scored the try.
Desperately needed a try. And they found their way across the line here. Really good, powerful carry to get up towards the line.
It's number 18, that's Danny Meisers, I'm pretty sure.
I'll tell you what, I love the handling there.
Yeah.
Didn't quite make out who it was on that replay. We might see another and be able to work it out, but it was glorious bit of handling to release him.
No.
And then just a little bit of the frustration, I think, at how hard Ipswich have found things to get into this game. But they have now found their way into the game. And in other news, on Dog Watch, we've got a nice dog that's come to park itself up next to us.
As soon as I saw it, Angus, I could feel your lips were twitching. You just want to mention that dog once again. There's Simpson. He's added the extras, the crucial extras that bring the game to NSB 21, Ipswich 7.
I think I'm going to start one of those niche Instagram accounts, you know, dogs at rugby grounds.
Oh, that. I'd give it a follow. So you got at least one.
There we go. I've got you, probably my mum.
Yeah.
That might be it.
Yeah, probably. But nevertheless, all for fun. There was the score. I'm 99% sure now that was Danny Meisers.
Captain's
Listed as wearing 18. Right, so
Ollie's called the shot.
So the kick has been called by Ollie Holiday. I don't think that's what Will Nichols was particularly wanting to do, because this is getting into what I'd call Elliot Daly territory.
I absolutely love that call, though. That's so good. Yeah, you're going to score against us, but we're going to restart with a penalty, and we're going straight for a shot at goal. Absolutely brilliant. I love that.
Well, if Will Nichols gets this, then it'll be one of the captain's calls of the year, I think.
Yeah, it'd be absolutely brilliant. But you know what? It's just sort of occurred to me. I've seen games restarted with penalty on halfway a few times. I've never seen someone go straight for sticks from it. And why on earth wouldn't you? At professional level, particularly, where they do all have the range there.
Nichols, he is just a little bit short. Probably the tiredness of the game proving potentially quite difficult. Simpson, who ignited that spark to try and get Ipswich a bit of front foot ball a few moments ago, releases Hollis, and that ball just not sticking. Lamprell not directly to hand. Ipswich with all that momentum cut short by inaccuracy in play again.
Ipswich tails are up, though. Funny thing that a try can do for you, isn't it? And this one, I'll tell you what, if that had got through the hands, they were away down this right-hand side. And it so nearly did. So nearly did.
He's inches away from being a runaway score. Hollis just stepping and giving, doing what any good 10 should do, and just creating those holes for his tight head Lamprell, who said, well, thank you very much, and made his travels up into the NSB half.
Probably not the circumstances they would want, but probably an ideal little moment for a break here in play for NSB, just to settle things. Ipswich with a little bit of momentum, NSB still firmly in control on the scoreboard. And Just a chance to all gather together and just settle any nervous heads out there.
It's Oscar Leal, who's down in... Well, he's back up now, but he's injured. Just
15 minutes.
out of your picture.
You happy?
15 minutes left to play. Angus, I want to get your crystal ball out. Do you think that Ipswich will be able to potentially claw something back here?
Okay, what's back on, gentlemen? There was
I actually think a lot depends on what this little break here has done in terms of just stinging that momentum or not.
Unfortunately not.
If Ipswich have still got their tails up and they can get a score, then it's squeaky bum time for NSB. If NSB can hold out for a little while and just not allow that second try through, then for a good period, then I think they'll go on to complete the victory. But it's all about what the next couple of minutes says to us in terms of that momentum.
Addison, it's an excellent nudge. 50-22's on. Well, I spoke about him when he made his way onto the field, his game management, a young head, but showing his experience already with an excellently poised 50-22.
Well, I tell you what, I talk about momentum and who can get control of it, and a kick like that immediately swings things. Now Ipswich have got to play out from deep inside their own 22.
You took it in.
I thought for a minute I'd misspoken and it was a 50-22, but they'd taken it into their own half before the kick.
I think that is harsh. We might be able to look at the replay, but again, Sonny Tungaweer goes for that one-man jump at the front. Hollis, Ipswich trying to play out their own half with Van der Veer. Hollis again, quick hands, lovely deft touches from the Ipswich number 10, move things along. Van der Veen into Tungaweer.
That is a big old tussle, that one.
Good step, and Ipswich got a bit of open pasture in front of them. Twisting, turning, goes Joe Mallet. Out the back door, and Simpson. Lamprell stretches his legs, the tight head racing through. Lamprell still going, he's got Simpson with him, but he might not need him. Lamprell still going. Simpson, there he is, needs the support, well brought down. In the end, there's space out here for Ipswich if they can use it. Kept tight initially. NSB now got a few more bases covered. Slowed the ball down as well. Hollis will have to pull the strings, and he glides straight through. Hollis still going. Does ever so well to keep himself in field. Ipswich now in the driving seat. There's Burke.
Tackle away.
Patience is the call from the Ipswich sideline. They're going to have to exhibit that to full effect now. Hollis. Van der Veer. If anyone can get a try, it'd be him. Hollis sniping.
Shot, release.
So much space out here. Ipswich boys screaming for it.
Release.
Out wide. There it goes. Step back inside and they scored it. Another try for Ipswich. Wow, look at this. The tides are turning, Angus.
The tides are turning indeed, and will Lamprell take a bow?
Wow, yeah.
That is all built off the back of that line, the hands, and then the pace from tight head prop Will Lamprell. Absolutely wonderful stuff from him. And then you've got the deft running and handling and sniping ability of Hollis. And then, as you were saying in commentary there, acres of space on the right-hand side. In the end, the space got eaten up because they took so long to get the ball out because of the work that NSB were doing on the deck. But it didn't matter because the step inside and the finish. And now we've got a proper game on our hands, haven't we, for this final 10 minutes or so. That
is a crucial kick made by Simpson as well to make it a 7-score game. Let's find out who had the finishing touch. Number 18.
I think it might have been 16
16 Tom Dye, it is indeed. They're 6 and 8, looking quite similar.
A good finish that from Tom Dye as well, because as I say, the defence had come across, but he had the wherewithal to realise if the defence was grabbing across a step inside, he'd be finding a nice soft shoulder. Gets himself over the line, but I just can't get over that break from Will Lamprell. Wow.
Well, we were speaking about how props are transitioning into more than just scrummaging machines, and well, that was exhibited
Play on backwards, taken it
expertly there by Lamprell.
I hadn't anticipated that they'd morphed into wingers, that is. Really quite something.
Taken
Ipswich
in.
now
Hadn't lifted.
with the wind in their sails.
Knock on.
Not for long though. Another costly error
Lost forward
in the
4.
handling department. And the NSB now have the ball off this scrum. An uncontested scrum, may I add, considering that NSB lack the front row capabilities.
You're on it, but you hadn't lifted.
Well, there used to be a time when in uncontested scrums you'd sub your props off to get extra flankers and stuff on the field, but given the display of those Ipswich props so far in the loose, I think I'd be leaving them on, as they have.
Get the water on, please, gentlemen. Yes, it is.
Time is off, dead on 60. Or for us anyway. We probably will have roughly 10 minutes to go, and well, there's a score in it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what we were saying before, wasn't it? If Ipswich could get another one relatively early on, and it was game on, and it certainly is game on. We've got 10 minutes to go. Converted try will level things up.
Imagine that. We head into that sort of finish. You've got Nichols, Addison and Hollis all be eyeing up those drop goals to become the hero under the Friday night lights.
Well, and let's not forget, Ipswich are a player up as well. You know, tired bodies out there, a little bit more space on the field. The ball's in their court, but at the moment the ball is in the hands of NSB.
Okay, water is off.
Harrison Abraham has made way, the try scorer, so there's a bit of a reshuffling in the back line for NSB. It's like Ollie Brennan has come back on, so Everett might be moving out to the wing and Brennan slotting into the centres.
Bind! Stick to it! Set! Okay, 9 or so, go please. Make sure you stay there.
Henry feeds this fake scrum. Addison, Henry out the back. Excellent line from Cottrell. He can cut those sort of shapes, can the inside centre.
No, not on the ball,
Addison.
You're on the man.
Causing a bit of trouble initially.
Let's go now.
Hold. Don't play the 9.
Speed playing patient. Nichols trying to find the right pass. He
Not now, not now.
under considerable pressure. Sonny Tungawea.
Not now! Hadn't beaten the rut. You hadn't beaten the rut.
This is good from NSB. Good patience.
Nichols, now they go out the back. Here's Everett. Everett down the blind side. Still going. Does ever so well to keep the ball in play. Harlem Grove Trotters-esque to fling that ball back inside.
Whoa. What's this got? What's this got?
Referee's called it knock
He won
on.
the ball, lost it forward.
So it will be an NSB scrum.
Knock on 3 as he won the ball, you lost it forward.
Yeah, really top quality play from NSB to have the patience to go through the phases. This is a game that's suddenly become all about the clock.
Good steal, but then you lost it forward.
And the longer they can keep the ball in possession in the right end of the field, the better their chances of maintaining this lead right to the final whistle.
Good steal, though.
Another uncontested scrum.
Crouch.
Addison poised,
Bind.
ready.
Set!
Have a plan in mind, I'm sure.
Don't go!
Here he is now, bringing in Everett off the blindside wing. And the smoke and screen.
Counter up was good.
NSB
That's fine, he can
Now under a bit of pressure at ruck time. Addison, again, trying to give himself a bit of real estate and time on the ball. Nichols, little hitch kick to the outside edge.
No clear release tackle.
No clear release, Simpson. So it's advantage NSB. Seb Henry looking for quick ball. He won't get it. Counter ruck.
Okay, the counter ruck is excellent.
Do they go for the posts or not? That's the big question here. I've got a feeling they may look to the corner from this one. I might be tempted to go with the sticks. Oh, he does go six.
Post has been immediately called by Ollie Holiday. No doubt in that. Addison will step up this time.
It's a good decision. If they get if they land this penalty,
4 and 3.
they're more than a converted try ahead. If they miss it, more than likely they get the ball back and in dangerous territory from the 22 restart. So it's a really low risk play. It eats a minute into the clock as well. I really like it.
There it was. Simpson got his mitts all over it, but illegally, said the referee.
25 now on the kick.
So hard as a player sometimes in that scenario, just to resist the temptation when you can see that you've got a chance to shift the game for your side.
Addison now to take the game from under Ipswich's noses. It's a cheeky 7-iron shot right through the posts.
Well, it was just a casual clip over the posts, wasn't it? A little bit of shape on it and everything.
Well, it's the crucial score that takes Ipswich away from 7 points. They'll need to contribute to the scoreboard on multiple occasions now if they want to get anything out of this game. In the last 6 minutes of play. Of course, playing 35-minute halves in under 18 level. So we have a 70-minute game overall. Nichols goes to clear, does well. Ipswich underneath the ball. There's Holdcroft and strong challenge.
Ducked into it.
Hollis not looking in good shape. But Ipswich are away now. Oh, that ball just not sticking.
No, sorry, come off.
Ipswich ball.
Ball away, ball away, ball away. Ball away.
We're getting a bit rowdy now. Tempers rising. The stakes also rise. Lamprell. Away they go. Good hands. The crowd getting rowdy. Van der Veer trying to put them to rest. Billy Reid steps back inside as well. Got a bit of gas on him as well. Reid will scamper home. Ipswich reignite their passions to try and get themselves back into this game. An excellent score from Billy Reid. Cut back inside and he found it.
Oh, Billy Reid. He had no right at all. Absolutely no right. Great handling. Van der Veen, good composure, but look at that from Reid. Steps in again, hits the afterburners. Absolutely no right to score that try, and he's just handed his side an opportunity to go out there and try and win this game with that try. There's going to be about 3.5 minutes left to play after the conversion.
Wait there, please. Wait there.
And he has just ignited that last 5 minutes or so.
Simpson to make it 3 from 3. No, his goes wide. So it will be a 5-point game. Billy Reid, he really has come into this game throughout the period. I think he's been moved onto the wing now and, well, seems to have found his feet as this game's gone on.
Look at that, though. That's tight head prop to second row to open side. 3 forwards, 3 big men whose handling eventually releases Reid, and what a finish it was from Reid. All court rugby from Ipswich, setting up a grandstand finish.
The NSB faithful trying to rally their team to get them over the line. They've been ahead for the whole of the game. Ipswich, though, now closer than ever. I think Sonny Tongawiya has made way. No, he hasn't. That's Will Cotterill who's come off. Hard to miss Sonny Tongawiya. He's already on the field. And here you go, Ipswich trying to make their way from their own 22. What a finish of the game this would be. Hollis invites Van der Veer onto the ball.
Wasn't held.
Strong tackles from NSB, who are really having to dig deep. Van der Veen makes 2 carries in almost as many seconds. Hollis out the back door. Away they go now, Ipswich. Trying to put on the afterburners out wide. Heavy tackles in the middle of things. Collected, though, this time by Ipswich. Many times in this game that ball's headed to deck and the referee's had to blow his whistle for the away team. Things starting to click just as it counts. Hollis has to jump to reach it. And Naveen. Now here's the latest try scorer, Reed. Billy Reed away. Addison with a crucial tackle. What a shot that was from the young fly half. The counter ruck is good from NSB. Just holds fire for Ipswich at the moment. There's Dimitriev, hit back hard. Holdcroft fizzes it out wide. Hollis, they go. There's a bit of space here if they can use it. Into the corner. Ipswich still going. They're up to the 5. We're 120 seconds away from the final whistle. Lamprell. Strong carry from him. He's been excellent all day. Referee's whistle blows. Penalty to NSB. They're being marched 10 as well. Listen to that roar, Angus. Means so much.
What a moment. I thought Ipswich were going to get there across the line. Superb build-up play, but just too enthusiastic to make sure they seal that ball as they get close to the try line. The referee says they're going off their feet to do so, and NSB with a chance to escape, and they are going to allow this penalty to take as long as they possibly can, although anyone that was watching the rugby yesterday morning will know, don't take too long.
Tom Addison does well to make sure the ball is crucially out of play. It will be NSB ball on their own 10-metre line.
Have to compete at this line out. Have to compete.
5, as usual.
Of course, NSB crucially without a proper hooker. Ollie Holiday, their captain, will have the biggest throw of the evening. And he aces it. Ruben Hansen takes it down. NSB stick it up their jumper. They will try and hold this game out.
Oh, what a maul this is. What a maul, what a moment.
And then it's rumbling forwards. Big wedge of red and blue breaks away. Henry.
Advantage offside.
Advantage NSB. You've got to say that that might be the game.
Advantage offside.
Oh, such a tough one for Ipswich. They were trying to retreat, just didn't retreat fast enough. He was always going backwards, but he was always offside. And as you say, this could be the game.
There it is. Seb Henry does the honours. An excellent finish from NSB, who needed all their experience and belief to grind that game out. They're ahead for the full 70 minutes, but Ipswich School certainly did not roll over. An excellent second half display from them. 3 tries, proving tricky for NSB, but it was the work of Will Nichols, especially off the tee, to nudge NSB in front. Angus, your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I thought Nichols was awesome off the tee. What a difference he made. Ruben Hansen as well at 7 was just incredible for NSB, his opposite number for Ipswich. Van der Veen was incredible too, and how about that finish from Mills at the end? But what a fantastic game. If that is the way that Friday Night Lights are going to be throughout this season, then I am very glad that we are booking in Fridays, because that was absolutely awesome. Ipswich just left it too late really to mount the comeback. that really good work from NSB to build that first half score was what really sealed the game for them. Their ability to absorb pressure when it came on as well, but in that last 10-15 minutes or so, Ipswich were just utterly inspired. They gave themselves the chance towards the end to have a shot at getting across the line. Didn't happen, gave away the penalty, but they'll take some pride in the fact that they gave themselves the opportunity at least. But NSB, the guts to be able to stick that one out, absolutely incredible. And here it all began in the opening minutes of the game with that try in the left-hand corner. Just had so much patience in these areas. This kick across the field from Nichols, who'd already added a couple of penalties by that point, hadn't he? He was pulling the strings by this stage in the game. And at this point, it was getting to a point where you thought NSB could run away with this. But hats off to Ipswich for the way they came back. And that man on the left-hand side of your screen there, just about to walk through the tunnel, number 3, Will Lamprell. What a game he had. That break he made to help set up. I think it was the first Ipswich try. It was just, as you say, an absolute game changer at the moment.
This was almost a nail in the coffin stuff, what we thought for Ipswich. A rugged score from...
Well, that was the one, wasn't it? That made it 21-0.
Tough, wasn't it?
And at 21-0, you're kind of thinking, where can Ipswich go? Well, this is where they could go.
Yeah, this first score all set up by the work of Lamprell, which happened a few phases before, but his break through the midfield was crucial to give them this platform, and it was excellent feat and decision making from Tom Dye, who ducked in and got the score.
Yeah, it was a tidy finish, that, wasn't it? This is try of the game for me. Handling between the forwards. Van der Veen hitting the gas, and then a nice pass, but just look at this footwork from Mills. Scything through the defence. And at that point, I just thought momentum is all with Ipswich here. There's almost no escaping this one. Belief absolutely coursing through the veins, wasn't it?
Exactly that. Well, Northampton, though, albeit not too pretty, managed to hang on and get themselves over the line. An excellent display of schoolboy rugby all round, and well, as Angus mentioned, if that's what we've got in store for us this season, then bring it on, I'd say. Final score here in Northampton, NSB 24, Ipswich School 19.
Introducing Next Gen 15, the new home of school rugby.
Well, where does this come from?
Covering everything the school game has to offer in both the north and southern hemispheres.
What a great tackle! It's not good enough.
1-2, skip a few and with the wheels.
Highlighting tomorrow's stars, Next Gen 15 will be bringing you live games and a regular update of all the news and in-depth views on the global game.
What a kick! Where did he come from and how did that happen?
All your school rugby, all in one place. This is Next Gen 15.
Cool.